Well, good morning. This is Oliver Bergeron with CI Destinations, and I hope everyone's having a great day today. I'm happy to be here to talk to the Post Falls Chamber of Commerce about their trip to the fantastic Amalfi Coast going October 26th, 2023. And before we jump into one of my favorite destinations, let's talk about CI Destinations. So CI Destinations is Chamber International Destinations, and we work exclusively with chambers of commerce across the country with their travel programs. And I'm very excited to say that we currently enjoy a 98% repeat business ratio. And we do that because the secret to that success is it's all in the details. And when I put together the amazing Amalfi Coast program, there's a lot of great things that make up a great tour. One being the fact we're unpacking one time and we're staying right in the town of Miori, which has the largest stretch of coastline on the Amalfi Coast. It's a great place to call home. Another great thing about our programs is they're fully tour managed, meaning you're going to be met by the same person that's going to be meeting you at the airport. They'll be escorting you throughout the itinerary day in, day out, and they'll be seeing you off at the airport. The quality of the program truly goes through the roof when you have a dedicated tour manager who's not only your tour guide, but they're also your own personal concierge. So without further ado, let's jump into the great Amalfi Coast. Let's do a little change up here with the screen. And here we are on the Amalfi Coast, the southern coast of Italy. And undoubtedly one of the most impressive landscapes in all of Italy. And everybody's going to love the fact that, like I said, we're going to be unpacking one time. So let's go ahead and jump into the program. Here we are in the town of Miori. This is where we're going to be calling home for the duration of the trip. And of course, got to start the trip off with a flight. So we'll be flying from Spokane, and we'll have a change of planes along the way, and we'll be landing in Rome. And when we land in Rome, we'll be met by our fantastic tour manager, who will be meeting us at baggage claim and taking us down to the splendid Amalfi Coast. And here's a shot of our tour manager. She is there to breathe life into the program. She is there really, to make sure that you have the absolute best possible experience while taking in the sights and the cultures of the Amalfi Coast. While we're traveling via deluxe motor coach. And our motor coaches are typically, they're 3 years old or newer. They're a great way to travel. What my travelers have told me in the past, what they love about our trips is, Oliver, all we have to do is pack our bags and show up. All the details are taken care of for us upon arrival. And that's really the truth. All you have to do is pack a bag and show up, and we will take care of the rest. Make sure you have a fantastic trip taking in the sights of the Amalfi Coast. Included in our program, we've included the Whisper system. And this just takes your experience to a whole new level. This is a wireless headset that allows you to hear your tour manager from up to 250 feet away. So gone are the days where we're huddling around the tour manager going, what did she say? What did I miss? You've got the fantastic Whisper system at your disposal every day while on tour. And I love maps. Here's a shot of where we're staying. We're staying in Miori. And Miori has the longest stretch of coastline on the Amalfi Coast. And what I love about the Amalfi Coast is how close everything is in proximity to each other. For instance, when we go over to the city of Amalfi, it's less than 15 miles away. We're going to go into Ravello, into Positano, which are also just a stone's throw away from our home base. Speaking of home bases, here we are at the Pietra de Luna. This is our fantastic seaside property that we've been using year in, year out, after year. Easy for me to say. we use this property every year, season after season, and it gets fantastic reviews from all of our travelers. And I always like to include a few public shots of the areas in the property. And of course, our standard typical room. A few more public shots. And it's so nice to know that this program has really the perfect balance of structured tours and leisure time. This is one of my chamber executives that was traveling with us from the Chicago area, and they had a fantastic time, took their group there. And yeah, she sent this to me, and I always like to include a few local shots of our executives. Now, imagine when you're out on tour, you come back to the hotel around 3 or 4, you enjoy the sunset from the poolside promenade of our hotel. This is right at our hotel. Imagine watching the sunset, having a glass of wine, taking it all in. And it's so nice to know that with CI Destinations, our properties are centrally located in the heart of the city center. Included in our program, we have a hot buffet breakfast, American buffet breakfast every day. And I always like to show you the workings of the kitchen in our hotels. The restaurant at the hotel, Pietra de Luna, the locals like it so much that they dine there all the time. I mentioned Miori having the largest stretch of coastline along the Amalfi Coast. This is our hotel right here. And this section of the beach is their private beach for the Pietra de Luna. I like this shot because I want to show you that the sidewalks don't roll up at night in Miori. You know, we're here for 6 nights, and it's so nice to actually be able to use the furnishings in the room, call this home, and experience the culture and the taste that the Amalfi Coast brings to the table. So since we're on the coast, of course, seafood is phenomenal here. Now, our first day touring, we're going to go into Ravello. And Ravello is one of the most fascinating attractions along the Amalfi Coast. It's perched high above the cliffs, as you see here. We'll take in the city's cathedral, which is also in the heart of the city of Ravello. Now get this, the cathedral was built in 1087. 1087, it's like you're walking back in time. You can't help but wonder how many people have walked where you're walking. I like this shot, gives you a good idea of the weather you can expect in October. You typically will be in the mid to high 60s. Very comfortable traveling weather. It's not the rainy season. The cold season. We always travel in October and in March, 1 for the weather and 2 for the crowds. We like the shoulder seasons because we don't want to be impacted by crowds. Speaking of crowds, when we go into the Villa Raffaello, which is one of the crown jewels of Ravello, we have already taken care of the admission tickets into the villa, where you may see 100 people in line waiting to pay their admission tickets. We've already got that taken care of. So we'll walk right through. We won't waste a minute in line. And that is because I recognize the biggest commodity in this trip is your time. And we don't want to waste a minute of your time in any line. So we make sure we have all those admissions taken care of well in advance. And this is on the insides of the Villa Raffaello. The grounds are absolutely amazing, and so are the views. Now, ceramics. Ceramics are a big part of the Amalfi Coast. You'll meet the local artisans, whether you're in Ravello or Positano or Miori. And one of the things that I purchase when I travel, I'm not a big shopper by any means. I always like to purchase things that remind me of my experiences overseas. And so when my wife and I were traveling on the coast, we actually purchased one of these platters up here, and it hangs in our kitchen. And you know, when you've had one of those days when you just can't wait for the day to be done, I go into the kitchen and I can look at that platter and go, gosh, that was just a fantastic trip. And what a great day. The absolute beauty of the Amalfi Coast. So now we're going to go into the city of Amalfi, and we're actually going to go up to the 62 steps that will take you to the top of the cathedral. I mentioned the ceramics there everywhere, the open air markets, the flower markets, true taste to the culture of the Amalfi Coast. Speaking of the open air markets, this is a great story. So here we are. This is a shot of just a typical market in Positano. And when my wife and I were traveling there, we got some cherry tomatoes, some grapes, some salami, a baguette, a bottle of wine, and this little Italian lady said, I was told her we were going to go down to the beach, and she said she handed me 2 wine glasses and a corkscrew and said, you return on the way back. And she had very broken English, and what a gracious soul. She really cared about our experiences, and just meeting her was a highlight. So we went down to the beach area here, had our little picnic with our daughters, and on our way back up, we were sure to be dropped off the glass of wine, or the glasses and the corkscrew for the lady. What we do here, we're at the top of Positano, where my mouse has us right up here. We're actually going to transfer from our deluxe motor coach to minivans, and we'll make these little switchbacks down to the heart of Positano. I always like to include a few shots of our traveling groups. This is one day right outside of Pompeii. Actually, we had a group that had a quick lunch, and our tour managers give you the guidance of where the best restaurants are to have those lunches. And equally important, which restaurants you want to steer clear of. It's nice to know that your tour manager is really there to make sure that you do have the trip of a lifetime. Now we're going to venture into Naples, and the thriving city of Naples is sure to be a highlight. You either have your choice of going into Naples or enjoying a free day. One of the oldest squares in all of Italy lies in the heart of Naples. And it's the famous Piazza del Gesso. Now, our tour managers, we recognize that we want to make sure we have everything included for you. So we've included, of course, going into the cathedral. And if you were to do this on your own, you may just bypass that. And when you get home, you're watching Rick Steves and the Amalfi Coast, and you realize you should have never bypassed that. And actually, that could have been a highlight. So with CI Destinations, we like to make sure that we do not have any travel regrets as we're going through Santa Tria's church. The light is just amazing. And it dates back to the 13th century. Again, the level of antiquity is mind-blowing. And of course, while we're in Naples, Naples is home of the Neapolitan pizza. And so we'll be sure to find the best Neapolitan pizza in all of Naples and have another taste of their exciting culture. Now we'll venture back to our hotel, enjoy the afternoon in Niori, possibly walk along the beach, play some bocce ball, whichever you may like. The next morning, we're off to the Isle of Capri. And here's a shot of the Gulf of Naples, where this is where we'll take the little jet foil over to Capri. And Capri is the mecca for the world of fashion. And here's a shot of our group going over to Capri from the Amalfi Coast. And you'll see here we've got the whisper systems. And the quality of the whisper systems the location of your hotel, the experience of your tour manager all make for just a wonderful marriage for your experience. And here's the landing in Capri. Now, when we land in Capri, we'll actually be taking small mini buses and we'll drive through the small lanes all the way up to Anacapri. Along the way, we'll meet with the locals, the local cobblers, and they show you just, how gracious they are, really how much pride they take in really everything they touch. I mentioned up to Anacapri, and here we are, and we have just phenomenal views of the Gulf of Naples below. And here's some of our motley travelers here. Again, this was in October, so the weather you can expect to be in the mid to high 60s. Really a great time to experience the amazing Amalfi Coast. And then from Anacapri, we'll venture back down to the city square of Capri, where we'll have a little free time on our own. And it's nice to have that balance of structured tours and leisure time as you go through the itinerary. Today is, going to be another great highlight. And if you're anything like me, you try to figure out, which day is the absolute best day in the itinerary? And my goal is for every day to be the best day. Here we are. We're going to go into Pastium, and absolutely one of the most important and best preserved archaeological sites in all of Italy. This is a site that was constructed BC. It's like we're walking back seriously in time to a new world of antiquity. The Greek ruins, the architecture, the monuments, they're also imposing. Taking in next shot will be the Temple of Poseidon and the Basilica. And it's nice for you to know that in addition to our tour manager, this day will also have an archaeological docent along with us. And our traveling chamber executive here. Now, as we go through Pastium, we go through all the archaeological sites. We've included admission into the museum, which is really the cherry on top of the hot fudge sundae. It truly brings everything full circle and gives you a full appreciation of the history that we're discovering. So now we're going to go from Pastium to Salerno. And along the way, we're going to visit a working water buffalo farm. And we're going to find out just how important these water buffaloes are to the local economy. We're going to learn that what's involved in making of the buffalo mozzarella cheese. And we'll actually be touring the cheese factory. Here's the finished product. Great day, definitely a great highlight. Travelers absolutely love it. And then we're going to go through the city square of Salerno, walk along the promenade, and we'll make our way back to Miori. But another great thing, another great inclusion is along the way, we're going to stop at a limoncello factory. And we're going to learn exactly what's involved in making limoncello. Now, limoncello is a dessert liqueur, a rather strong dessert liqueur, actually, best served over crushed ice or ice cream. And we'll learn, like I said, that what's involved in making just one bottle of a limoncello. And limoncello has really gone globally. And there's different flavors now available. I even had one traveler travel to this area just to taste a chocolate limoncello. and we'll have some free time taking in the outdoor markets, looking for the perfect leather purse. And then we have a free day, and I always make sure we have one day free so we can enjoy the city of Miori and the surrounding cities. It's nice to have that, and it's nice to have that at the end of the itinerary so that you can take advantage of your knowledge and go back and visit some of your favorite sites. One of the things I really truly enjoyed was I took a water taxi from Miori right over to Positano, grabbed some gelato, some lunch, and then took the water taxi back to Amalfi and then over to Miori. It's very inexpensive, very liberating, very safe, but it's nice to have those free days so you can explore or relax. My wife, on the other hand, she grabbed her favorite book and relaxed poolside and enjoyed it. And that was a definite highlight for her. So it's nice to have that luxury to be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. One of the biggest industries and thriving industries in southern Italy is that, of course, the local fish markets. And the most prominent fish they have out there is the mackerel. And here's a shot of that morning when I took that boat right over to Positano to grab a gelato and a little lunch. Now, the next day, we're going to bid farewell to Miori, and we're going to make our way to Rome. And if you are doing this program on your own, you may just jump on the highway and, make your way to Rome and look out the window and see a snow-capped mountain and not even know that that mountain is Mount Vesuvius. Now, what's famous about Mount Vesuvius? Well, Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD erupted and leveled, covered the city of Pompeii. At that time, the city of Pompeii had a population over 100,000 people. So you can imagine a city that large being buried by lava. And as we go through Pompeii today, it is today up to 89% excavated. It's absolutely astonishing to see the ruins from 79 AD. And as you're walking through the ruins of Pompeii, a city of over 100,000 people, a city that had actually indoor plumbing, is absolutely amazing. And as you're walking through the grounds, you may look off to your left and see a small foothill, and that is just an area that has not been excavated yet because Pompeii is not fully excavated. So you will actually experience and see people doing a live archaeological dig, discovering things from 79 AD. Mind-blowing. So we'll bid farewell to the Amalfi Coast. We make our way to Rome. We arrive Rome early evening, late afternoon, and you have the evening on your own to explore. It's important for me to say that, even though we're in Rome for one night, we will be staying at a city center property and not an airport property. The airport's a good 45 minutes away from the city center. And so what we like to do, we like to stay in the city center of Rome. So you have the night at your leisure to do what you want to do. We do offer an extension to Rome and 2 additional nights where you have the same tour manager. You have a full comprehensive panoramic city tour, then a day of leisure. But you're all at the same hotel, so you don't have to transfer your hotels. It's really a fantastic way, if you have not seen Rome, to take it all in, because you'll actually be there for a total of 3 nights. And then the next day, of course, we bid farewell and we make our way back to the United States, taking with us just wonderful memories of the southern coast of Italy. And one of the things I absolutely love about chamber travel is we start off a program like this. Not everybody knows everybody at one of the informational sessions, but by the end of the trip, we are all one big Post Falls family. And like I tell my daughters, you can never have enough friends. And we just come home with just one big happy family. And we're saying, geez, Christina, where are we going next? And with CI Destinations, we bring chambers of commerce across the country together, really to see and experience some amazing parts of the world. So what we're going to do now, we'll take the video back up. And we'll see if there are any questions for me. Any questions, Jamie? Are you with me?
I'm with you. So I think I'll probably ask you just a couple of the questions that came up when we were in, live. So the other night. And so one of them was if this is just the Post Falls Chamber, or will be the other chambers joining in on this trip?
So we promote with multiple chambers of commerce to be able to say it's a guaranteed departure. That means if there's 2 people with the Post Falls Chamber, they're guaranteed to go at the advertised price because we'll have other chambers promoting the trip. In the same breath, people always say, well, how big is the group? And our average size is usually right around 30 people. We use a 55 passenger coach, which I never fill because I don't want to impact the quality that I've built our reputation on. It's not at 30, 35 people is a very nice group size to be traveling together.
Nice. And so one of the other questions was, is there a lot of walking that happens on these trips?
I would say on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being strenuous, this is a solid 3. You want to keep in mind when we're going into places like Positano and Amalfi and Ravello, we will be exploring on foot once we arrive there. But that is the beauty of it. But it's not too strenuous. The biggest challenges, or the biggest thing I like to tell our travelers is, you're walking on uneven areas, cobblestone streets, so you want to be aware of what you're walking on.
Nice. Okay. And then one of the other questions we had was about, now if I can remember, I had it and lost it. You were telling me some great information.
Okay, I'll give you some questions.
Perfect.
So one of the common questions is, well, geez, Oliver, I have a friend that's in LA or Washington, DC or Denver. Do they have to fly to Spokane to meet the group? And the answer is no. We can customize our travelers' air schedules so they see fit. If they want to fly from a different airport, we can certainly do that. And there is a little difference in the cost. It's not much. It's whatever the difference is on top of the group ticket. But it certainly is not much. And a secret to that type of customization, on your reservation form, just write the word custom. One of my team members will be happy to reach out to you, create a dialogue, and create that perfect trip for you. And speaking of custom, if you want to fly in early, or you want to extend your trip, or hey, I'm in Italy, can I go to Amsterdam? Whatever you may think you want to do, we were happy to help you explore and achieve that. So we can work with you on all your custom arrangements.
Perfect, because I know we did have that question. A couple of people were asking whether they could be in, come in early, or
right.
Fly out.
Now I say, people always say, so to get the discounted rate of $34.99 by March 31st, do I have to make my whole payment? No, you just have to complete the registration form, and along with your deposit, your check for $450, give that to the chamber. And then if you do that by March 31st, you achieve the early booking rate.
And then I believe the bulk of that is then due 90 days before trip departure. Is that correct?
Correct. So the final payment is due 90 days prior to departure. And what we will do, we will send out a invoice, usually right around 100 days prior to departure, we won't forget about you. And that is due 90 days. What you can expect for us between now and then is once you've made your deposit and we've received it from the chamber, we'll send out a confirmation packet, a nice welcoming packet, welcoming you to the trip with frequently asked questions, passport information, travel insurance information, and the direction if you have questions to a team member and their associated operations manager to contact if you do have any special needs. So I just touched on two things. Passports. Everybody needs to have a valid passport, needs to be valid for up to 6 months upon your return. And we'll make sure that's valid because we'll ask for a copy of that. And then I also mentioned travel insurance. And I highly recommend travel insurance. I like a company called TravelX. If you purchase the TravelX insurance within 14 days of when I receive your deposit, your pre-existing conditions are all covered. And when you receive your confirmation packet, it'll actually tell you the date that we received your deposit. So you know when your 14-day window started ticking. You can use any insurance company, but I highly recommend travel insurance. I like TravelX because if something happens, I can get involved. I can help people with their claims, and to a great extent. So it's nice to have that advocate in your corner.
Nice, perfect. All right. Did you have anything else? Any other questions that you commonly get asked, Oliver? Because I don't have.
Well, we're flying out of Spokane. We'll have a change of planes. Flight schedules are important, and I recognize that. So I always try to get the best schedules we can for our groups. Let's see, fuel surcharges. They are included, and the amount of included fuel surcharges is $500 per person. Your airport departure taxes of $120 are also included. So both of those are included in your brochure price. And there is a single supplement. If there's single travelers and you would like to have your own room, there is a single supplement associated with that. It's $450 extra. And I can tell you that in Europe, single rooms are smaller and they cost more. And I'm always upfront with our travelers because I like your expectations to be met. They cost more, they're smaller. If you're a single traveler, you shouldn't expect a king size bed like you would if you were to book a Marriott, if you're going to have a single bed. And it's just smaller, but that's okay. Let's see. I think that's about it. If you guys, if the travelers have any questions, on the inside bottom right of the brochure, there is an 800 number that rings to my office. So we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Very nice. Well, thank you, Oliver, for doing this for us. And I will make sure, because we've had lots of requests for this. So I'm going to make sure that I get it out to everybody this afternoon, and then we'll just use it if anybody else asks too.
That's wonderful. All right. Well, you have a great weekend. Thank you for allowing me to represent this, and I hope you guys have a wonderful time in the amazing Amalfi Coast.
Yes. Thank you. Have a great weekend too.
Bye-bye.